Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. Today I am in the German Me-264, the new Tech 3 heavy strategic bomber for the Germans. Now let me give you a certain introduction to the overall topic of the video, and I want to just align certain arguments that just were my experience as very often, but I need to make clear here that this is far from a rant video, that this is far from I am disappointed video or anything like this. This is a very simple, sober running down of arguments or points that I have written down that just come to my mind when playing this awesome looking plane. I absolutely love the stunning look of it. And before I talk about the plane's performance and advantages, pros, cons, etc., let me just put things into perspective once more. First of all, this is a first impressions and by no means a review, far from it. Then there is the pure fact that I am somebody that loves to play bombers. Certain videos in the past should have made this clear, but not everybody has seen them, and maybe I have gained subscribers since that are not aware of what I think about planes, etc. So then there is also my history, and let me just put you guys back over 6 years when I began to play War Thunder. I always loved my ground attackers and my bombers. It was just something different from back in the days me playing arcade and a fighter. You know, just leading the lead indicator and racking up the double, triple aces, etc. Which happened back in the days. Good old seal climbing days. Soviet biplanes. But I digress. There were bombers in the game that I absolutely loved. There were the Soviet years, there was the H-6K4 for the Japanese, there was obviously, as funny as it sounds, also the Wellington for the British, and the Germans always had some very interesting bombers. I was pretty kind of arrogant back then, and I only looked at the bomb load, if you will. And so one of my favorite bombers was, unsurprisingly, the Ju-88. And the Heinkel 111, all versions of it, they just convinced me through their payload. And it was a nice back and forth of the arguments which bomber is better suited for which situation. Now that was also the time when the Dotra 17 for me personally was not an alternative, because it only, quote unquote only, had 2 tons of bomb load back then. Now what does this have to do with this plane? Well, my mind was stuck. I didn't do any sort of research. I only looked at what we have in the game, and I just then talked to people on TeamSpeak, etc. And then I came across the name America Bomber, which the Me-264 is. And people told me about an amazing bomb load, amazing defensive capabilities, and remember, this was in the mindset of me playing the Heinkel 111. So I was like, whoo, can't wait it to be added to the game. Little did I know. So since then the game has drastically changed. We saw not just the addition of 2 more nations and tanks and helicopters and ships, but also addition of other bombers, such as, foremost for the Germans noticeably, the BV-238, the Ju-288 and also the Heinkel 177. And they brought such an amazing performance and bomb load with them that frankly the addition of this plane was kind of unnecessary, if you will. It's nice to have, certainly, for a what-if scenario, etc. Because many people claim that if Germany would have mass-produced this bomber, they could have won the war and bombed America into surrender, etc. Which obviously I don't believe in, but you know, it circled around back then. And I think when you look at the plane's performance in game, you would say, why? Okay, it's really good, right? You go straight forward, you bomb the bases, you have an amazing bomb load, you have amazing high altitude performance, and as long as you don't move and encounter an enemy, you're not really coming across the issues. But actually coming so rarely into those situations of danger, if you will, that an enemy even bothers coming after you, should be ringing your alarm bells. What I'm talking about is this plane is busted, it is broken, and it shouldn't be, and again Gaijin has not learned anything, and the combination of facts, in my opinion, prove this. Now, we don't know what's going on at Gaijin, but we can only make educated guesses, if you will. And, from my experience in the past, I shall now explain to you what I mean. So let's have a look at the bomb load here, and we can see we have 2 Satans and 2 250 kilogram bombs, giving us a total bomb load of 4.4 tons, and this at a battle rating for a strategic heavy bomber at 3.7 in realistic. That's already a combination that I don't understand. Further, you look at the sheer speed of this bomber and also its defensive capabilities in the shape of several heavy machine guns and also 3 20mm in single mountings. Yeah, you can already see what kind of impact you have. Look at this. Half the base is gone. Half the base has just vanished from only me dropping it. That is frankly something where you deliver overkill payloads. And there are several competitive bomb loads, if you will, for you to take. As I said, you have the maximum payload with 2 1,800 kilogram bombs plus 3 250 kilogram bombs. Then you have 4 1-ton bombs, and on top of this, the stock 9 250 kilogram bombs, and then the first unlockable is then 3 250 kilograms and 6 500 kilogram bombs. So there is a little bit of variety. And the plane itself has no really obvious weaknesses, such as a strong problem with engine overheat. It's not the problem. Then it is not really unforgiving in its flight characteristics. But if you try a little bit around with the plane and try to maneuver, you just get the feel that it is that the flight model has a lot of artificial fragments in it. It feels like that as well, especially in comparison to other planes, other heavy bombers, other medium bombers, you name it. So first of all, there is no momentum in the plane like in the TU-4 or the B-29, although this plane rivals it in size. So if you pull up or you just want to descend, your reaction and also the roll rate are outstanding for a bomber of this size, but it's still a heavy, big strategic bomber. Then there is, frankly, the energy retention, which seems to be really, really amazing. And then you look at the elevator and the rudder, and throughout all the speeds, all the altitudes, it remains very, very bad. So you can initiate a course correction or a course change, but to follow it through takes forever. So let's now also bring in the other arguments. The plane has 53,000 civil line repair costs fully upgraded. And, why? If you give a plane that bomb load at that battle rating, that is to be expected that it performs well in conjunction with that performance and that defensive armament. So why Gaijin has not implemented it at a higher battle rating that I would have thought should be 5.0, 5.3. No, 2 battle ratings lower than this at 3.7. That's just nuts. And then they try to counterbalance it with 53,000 civil lines. The result is that many people play very cautiously with this plane. Not me, of course. I mean, look at me. And then they just bomb the enemies into surrender. They just win the matches. They never get shot down. And so they never have to pay the repair costs, actually gaining silver lines with something that Gaijin tries to counterbalance so it doesn't make you silver lines. And so, again, a German bomber ruins everybody's fun, including the German fighters, because sometimes they get nothing to do or they're outnumbered, and so you get the Allied syndrome, but without the incompetence of Allied bombers. When I say here incompetence, I also mean their bomb load, which is not the player's fault. Let me get this straight. And so this is really broken and busted. Little details go in here as well, like for example, the gun firing angles are artificial and the machine guns shoot through seemingly what it looks like when firing, that they shoot just simply through the fuselage, and also the front 20mm shoots through the rear turret. it's crazy. Again, let me just quickly compare this German bomber with something that we already have in game. In parts, it reminds me about the Japanese G5N1 heavy bomber, and that's also a plane that I personally really like. So, quickly summarized, the Me-264 has at 3.7 a total bomb load of 4.4 tons in the various different sub-bomb load sections, right? Then you look at the Japanese G5N1, and that has a battle rating of 5.0 and has a maximum bomb load of 800 kilograms with a total bomb load of 3.2 kilograms. But it sits at 5.0, not 3.7. I'm sorry, what? So this is the definition of power creep, and the games are boring. I cannot make anything interesting with this plane aside from just going in and bombing my way to victory with the rest of my team. And this is very repetitive, so it's not a rant, but it's just, why, Gaijin, do we have to go through this? One plane power creeping the rest and just being there for everybody's misery, which could have been a glorious plane. So finally we can see the defensive armament in action, and this P-61 actually bothered to go up, but as you can see, I am just climbing at altitude of 6 kilometers, and that is just something that is really outstanding. So again, a broken plane, a unfun plane, not very exciting. What could have been exciting, I am nevertheless just simply disappointed, or especially because of this I'm disappointed. But however, that's it for me today, so thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope that you still value this video and give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more and actually appreciate my opinion, and we'll see each other on the waves, on the battlefields and in the skies of War Thunder.